In the shadow of Pikes Peak, where the air still hums with invisible currents, stands a forgotten structure, the old Colorado Springs Laboratory. Abandoned for decades, weather-beaten, silent, but not empty. A team of historians arrived last month. They came for demolition permits. Instead, they found something else. Hidden beneath warped floorboards. A metal case, sealed tight against time itself. Inside, papers waited in the darkness, yellowed but intact. Research notes, electrical diagrams, and something more. An interview transcript. Never published, never shared. The date, faded but readable. Spring 1930. The subject, Nikola Tesla, age 74. The journalist's name has been lost to history, but Tesla's words remain. Each sentence preserved like lightning captured in amber. This was no ordinary conversation. This was a confession, a revelation from a mind that touched the infinite. Tesla had retreated from the world by then, his grand experiments behind him. His promises to investors crumbled. The man who once claimed he could split the earth in half now lived quietly, alone with his pigeons and his regrets. But his vision burned as bright as ever. The transcript begins simply enough. The journalist asks about Tesla's legacy, about his predictions for the future. Tesla's response cuts through pleasantries like electricity through copper wire. "I see further than others," Tesla said. "Not because I am wiser, but because I listen to what the universe whispers." The conversation took place in Tesla's private study, away from prying eyes, away from the skeptics who dismissed his later theories as the ravings of an aging eccentric. Here, Tesla could speak freely, without fear, without pretense. He spoke of energies that science had not yet discovered, of forces that connected all living things, of a reality far stranger and more beautiful than anyone dared imagine. "Everything vibrates," Tesla explained. "Every atom, every star, every human heart. We are not separate beings scattered across space. We are notes in a cosmic symphony, each playing our part in a melody too vast for any single mind to comprehend." The journalist pressed for details. Tesla smiled, a rare occurrence in those final years. "You want formulas," Tesla said. "Equations, proof. But some truths cannot be captured in mathematics. They can only be felt, only experienced. I have spent my life translating the language of the cosmos into the crude symbols of human understanding. But the real knowledge lives beyond symbols." Tesla's voice grew distant then, as if he were seeing something the journalist could not, something beautiful and terrible at once. "I have walked in fields of pure energy," Tesla whispered. "I have touched the source from which all light flows. I have heard the heartbeat of the universe itself. And I know, with certainty that burns brighter than any electric arc, that death is merely another doorway."
Before we continue, if the unknown calls to you, if you seek evidence of what waits beyond the veil, you're not alone. We uncover what was buried, silenced, or forgotten. Like this video to help us keep digging. Subscribe for more truths the world was never meant to see. Share it before this too disappears. Now, back to the story.
The transcript shows the journalist shifting uncomfortably. These were not the words of a rational scientist. These were the confessions of a mystic, a prophet, a man who had ventured too far into mysteries that human minds were not meant to grasp. But Tesla continued, undeterred by skepticism, unafraid of ridicule. "My greatest discoveries," he said, "were not made in laboratories. They came in moments of perfect stillness, when the chattering mind fell silent and I could hear the voice of creation itself. In those moments, I understood. We are not observers of the universe. We are expressions of it, temporary forms through which infinite intelligence experiences itself." The hour grew late. Shadows lengthened across the study walls. But Tesla's words gained momentum, as if a dam had burst somewhere deep within his soul. "I have seen the future," Tesla declared, "not as prophecy, but as pattern, as the inevitable unfolding of forces already set in motion. Humanity stands at a crossroads. We can choose wisdom or destruction, light or shadow. The universe will honor whatever choice we make." The transcript ends abruptly there. No explanation, no formal conclusion. Just Tesla's voice trailing off into silence, as if he had said all that needed saying, as if the rest was up to those who would come after. For 83 years, these words waited in darkness, patient as the mountains, eternal as the stars Tesla claimed to understand so well. Now they speak again, a message from beyond time, a voice calling from the very edge of human comprehension. The man is gone, the laboratory stands empty, but his vision remains, burning bright as ever, waiting for minds ready to receive it. The journalist leaned forward in his chair. The weight of Tesla's words hung heavy in the air, but one question burned brighter than all others. "Mr. Tesla," the journalist said quietly, "with all your genius, all your discoveries, what haunts you most? What do you consider your greatest failure?" Tesla's eyes grew distant. For a long moment, he said nothing. The silence stretched between them like a charged wire waiting to spark. "I could have given the world everything," Tesla finally whispered. "Everything." His voice carried the weight of mountains, the sorrow of centuries. Here was a man who had glimpsed paradise and watched it slip through his fingers. "I possess the knowledge to illuminate the entire planet," Tesla continued. "Not with crude electric bulbs burning in isolated rooms, but with the living light of the cosmos itself. Every corner of Earth could have blazed with energy drawn directly from the source. No wires, no generators, no pollution, just pure, endless power flowing freely to all." The journalist's pen trembled as he wrote. These were not the boasts of a madman. Tesla's voice carried absolute conviction, the certainty of someone who had touched ultimate truth. "In Colorado," Tesla said, "I charged the Earth itself with electrical energy. I made the planet ring like a bell. I proved that the ground beneath our feet could carry power to any point on its surface. Distance meant nothing. Geography was irrelevant. The entire world could have become one vast electrical circuit." Tesla rose from his chair. He moved to the window. Outside, the city sprawled in darkness, broken only by scattered points of light, a pitiful fraction of humanity's potential. "I could have created a second sun," Tesla said. His reflection ghosted across the glass, a celestial beacon to banish darkness forever. The technology existed, the principles were sound, but mankind— He paused. His shoulders sagged with invisible weight. Mankind was not ready. The journalist waited, sensing that something profound was coming. Something that would explain the tragedy written across Tesla's features. "They wanted weapons," Tesla said simply, "not illumination. They wanted to destroy their enemies, not enlighten their friends." Every investor, every government official, every so-called visionary who came to me, they all asked the same question: how can this power be used to kill? Tesla turned back to the journalist. His eyes blazed with frustrated passion. "I showed them wonders that would make gods weep with joy," Tesla continued. "I demonstrated forces that could feed every hungry mouth, heal every broken body, lift humanity into realms of unimaginable beauty, and they asked me to make bombs." The weight of missed opportunity filled the room like lead. Tesla had offered paradise. Humanity had chosen hell instead. "The energy was there," Tesla said. "It is still there, flowing through every atom, every grain of sand, every drop of water. Mozart knew it when he composed his symphonies. Bach felt it in his fugues. They tapped into the same cosmic force that powers the stars. Their music carries frequencies that heal the soul because it resonates with the fundamental vibration of existence itself." Tesla began to pace, his movements sharp with suppressed energy. "The fragrance of flowers," he said, "is medicine for the spirit. Sunlight feeds us in ways that go far beyond vitamin synthesis. The earth breathes with rhythms that sync with human heartbeats. Everything is connected. Everything is alive. Everything pulses with the same infinite energy." The journalist struggled to keep up. Tesla's words came faster now, as if decades of silence had finally broken. "I spent years learning to read these hidden forces," Tesla continued. "I discovered that human emotions are not merely chemical reactions in the brain. They are electromagnetic frequencies that ripple through the fabric of space itself. Joy has its own wavelength. Love generates its own field. Compassion creates currents that span continents." Tesla stopped pacing. He fixed the journalist with an intense stare. "This is why my failure cut so deep," Tesla said. "I could have taught humanity to harness these forces, to use them consciously, deliberately. We could have transformed not just our technology, but our very nature. Wars would have become impossible. Hatred would have dissolved like shadow before the dawn." The journalist's hand cramped from writing, but he dared not stop. Tesla's revelations were flowing like water through a broken dam. "Instead," Tesla said bitterly, "we remain trapped in darkness, burning fossil fuels that poison our air, fighting wars over scraps of land and drops of oil, treating symptoms while ignoring the disease. We have the cure for humanity's suffering, but we lack the wisdom to use it." Tesla returned to his chair. The fire in his eyes dimmed slightly. replaced by something deeper, sadder, more profound. The saddest part, Tesla said quietly, is that the energy I speak of requires no complex machinery to access. It flows through every human being already. We are not separate from the cosmic force. We are expressions of it. Each person is a living antenna capable of receiving and transmitting the very power that moves galaxies. The journalist looked up from his notes. Then why don't we feel it? Why don't we use it? Tesla smiled sadly. Because we have forgotten how to listen. We have trained ourselves to hear only the loudest voices, the angriest voices, the most fearful voices. We have lost the ability to perceive the gentle whisper of infinite love that surrounds us always. Tesla's voice softened as the conversation turned toward deeper mysteries. The harsh edge of regret gave way to something more tender, more hopeful. You ask about the nature of this cosmic energy, Tesla said. Let me tell you what I have learned through decades of careful observation. The inventor settled back in his chair. His eyes took on a distant quality, as if he were seeing beyond the walls of the room, beyond the boundaries of ordinary perception. Music is the key, Tesla began. Not the crude vibrations we hear with our ears, but the fundamental harmonics that structure reality itself. When Mozart composed, he was not merely arranging sounds. He was translating the language of creation into forms human consciousness could grasp. Tesla rose and moved to an old phonograph in the corner. His fingers traced its worn surface with surprising gentleness. I have conducted experiments, Tesla continued, playing Bach's compositions near sick plants. Within hours, they begin to heal. Their leaves brighten, their stems strengthen. The mathematical ratios in Bach's music mirror the golden proportions found throughout nature. His fugues follow the same patterns as spiral galaxies and seashells. The journalist scribbled frantically. Tesla's words seemed to illuminate hidden connections everywhere. This is not coincidence, Tesla explained. Great composers tap into the same source that guides planetary orbits and atomic structures. They become instruments through which the universe expresses its deepest truths. Their music carries healing frequencies because it resonates with the fundamental vibration of life itself. Tesla moved to the window again. His gaze swept across the sleeping city. Every flower knows this secret, he said. Their fragrances are not random chemical combinations. They are precisely calibrated frequencies designed to influence human consciousness. Lavender soothes anxiety because its molecular signature neutralizes stress hormones. Rose oil elevates mood because it harmonizes with the electromagnetic field of the heart. The inventor's voice grew more animated. His hands gestured as if conducting invisible orchestras. Even sunlight carries intelligence, Tesla declared. We think of it as mere electromagnetic radiation, but I have measured variations in its frequency that correspond to human emotional states. On days when many people feel depressed, the light itself shifts toward shorter wavelengths. When collective joy rises, so does the luminosity. The journalist looked up from his notes. Are you saying the sun responds to human feelings? Tesla smiled. I am saying that the separation between observer and observed is an illusion. We are not isolated beings witnessing a mechanical universe. We are integral components of a living system. Our thoughts, emotions, and intentions actively shape the reality we experience. Tesla began pacing again, but this time his movements were fluid, graceful, like a dancer following music only he could hear. I have spent sleepless nights studying this phenomenon, Tesla continued. I have recorded correlations between human brainwaves and solar activity, between global emotional patterns and magnetic field fluctuations, between collective prayers and atmospheric ionization. The evidence is overwhelming. Consciousness is not produced by matter. Matter is shaped by consciousness. The weight of these revelations settled over the room like twilight. The journalist felt as if the foundations of reality were shifting beneath his feet. This understanding changes everything, Tesla said. If we accept that mind and matter are interwoven, then healing becomes possible through resonance alone. Illness is simply discord in the body's electromagnetic symphony. Health is harmony restored. Tesla paused at a bookshelf lined with scientific journals. His finger traced the spine of one volume. I have documented cases, he said quietly, where people recovered from supposedly terminal diseases simply by listening to specific musical compositions. Not because of placebo effects, but because the sonic frequencies literally restructured damaged cellular patterns. The journalist's pen had stopped moving. He stared at Tesla with a mixture of fascination and disbelief. "You doubt," Tesla observed. "I understand. These ideas challenge everything we have been taught to believe. But consider this. If consciousness can influence matter, then our collective thoughts are constantly reshaping the world around us." Tesla's voice dropped to a whisper, as if he were sharing the most dangerous secret of all. "This is why I failed to illuminate the Earth," he said. "The technology was ready, but humanity's consciousness was not. Our collective fear, greed, and hatred created interference patterns that blocked the flow of cosmic energy. We literally thought ourselves into darkness." The room seemed to pulse with invisible electricity. Tesla's words hung in the air like charged particles seeking ground. "But the opposite is also true," Tesla continued. "If enough people align their consciousness with love, compassion, and unity, they can create resonance patterns that amplify healing frequencies throughout the planetary field. This is not mysticism, this is physics at its most fundamental level." Tesla returned to his chair. His eyes blazed with renewed intensity. "I have calculated the numbers," he said. "If just 1% of humanity learned to harmonize their thoughts with cosmic rhythms, the resulting electromagnetic shift would trigger healing on a global scale. Disease would decrease, violence would diminish. The very atoms of our atmosphere would restructure themselves toward greater coherence." The journalist finally found his voice. 1%? That seems impossibly small. Tesla nodded. "Precisely. That is why I remain hopeful despite all my disappointments. We do not need to convince everyone. We need only to awaken a critical mass of conscious individuals. They will serve as tuning forks, helping the rest of humanity find their proper frequency." The conversation had stretched deep into the night. Tesla's study felt suspended between worlds, between the known and the unknowable. The journalist sensed they were approaching something final, something that would define everything that came before. "Mr. Tesla," the journalist said carefully, "you speak of consciousness and cosmic forces. But what about suffering? What about the pain that seems to permeate human existence?" Tesla's expression grew solemn. For a long moment, he stared into the darkness beyond the window. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of profound understanding. "Cosmic pain," Tesla said simply. "Yes, I feel it constantly." The journalist waited, sensing that Tesla was choosing his words with unusual care. "Most people believe their suffering is personal," Tesla continued. "They think their grief belongs only to them. But I have learned otherwise. Pain is the universe's way of signaling when harmony has been disturbed, when the cosmic symphony falls out of tune." Tesla placed his hand over his heart. His fingers pressed against his chest as if he were trying to contain something vast and overwhelming. "I feel physical anguish when children starve on distant continents," Tesla said. "My body convulses when forests burn in lands I've never seen. My heart stops beating for a moment every time someone chooses hatred over love. This is not imagination. This is the literal truth of interconnection." The journalist's pen trembled. Tesla's words seemed to describe a kind of suffering beyond human comprehension. "We are made of the same cosmic material," Tesla explained. "Our souls are woven from identical threads of light. When one person experiences trauma, it sends ripples through the fabric of consciousness itself. These ripples manifest as inexplicable sadness, sudden anxiety, or profound loneliness in people thousands of miles away." Tesla rose and moved to a small telescope positioned near the window. His hands adjusted its focus with practiced precision. "The stars confirm this," Tesla said. "Their light carries information about the emotional state of every world they illuminate. When I study stellar spectra, I can detect the collective pain of entire civilizations. Planets in turmoil emit different frequencies than worlds at peace." The journalist struggled to process these revelations. Tesla was describing a universe where consciousness flowed like water between all living things. "But here is the crucial point," Tesla continued. "Awareness of cosmic pain is the first step toward healing it. Once you understand that all suffering is shared, you realize that all healing is also shared. Every act of kindness creates waves of positive energy that spread throughout the cosmic field." Tesla turned back to the journalist. His eyes blazed with quiet intensity. "This is why I condemn war with every fiber of my being," Tesla said. "Not because I am a pacifist by nature, but because I feel the agony that violence creates. Every bomb that explodes tears holes in the fabric of reality itself. Every act of cruelty sends shockwaves through dimensions we cannot even perceive. The inventor began pacing again. But his movements were different now, urgent, as if time were running short. True strength, Tesla said, is the ability to feel cosmic pain and choose love anyway, to sense the vast interconnected web of consciousness and dedicate your life to healing it. This is not weakness. This is the highest expression of human evolution. Tesla paused at his bookshelf. His fingers traced the binding of a worn journal. I have written extensively about this, he said, about the need for humanity to develop what I call cosmic empathy, the ability to feel the emotional state of the planet itself. Once enough people develop this capacity, war will become impossible. How can you attack someone when you literally feel their pain as your own? The journalist looked up from his notes. But how do we develop this sensitivity without being overwhelmed by the world's suffering? Tesla smiled sadly. Through understanding that consciousness is eternal, that what we call death is merely transition from one form of existence to another. When you know with absolute certainty that no one truly dies, cosmic pain becomes bearable. It transforms from tragic loss into temporary separation. Tesla moved to a chair by the fireplace. The dying embers cast dancing shadows across his weathered features. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, Tesla said. It can only change form. The consciousness that animates your body existed before your birth and will continue after your death. You are not a temporary accident in a meaningless universe. You are an eternal expression of infinite intelligence, experiencing itself through human form. The weight of these words settled over the room like benediction. Tesla's voice had taken on a prophetic quality, as if he were speaking not just to the journalist, but to future generations yet unborn. Humanity stands at a crossroads, Tesla declared. We can choose to awaken to our true nature as interconnected beings of light, or we can continue stumbling through darkness, inflicting unnecessary pain on ourselves and our world. Tesla's gaze fixed on some distant point beyond the walls, beyond time itself. I see signs of awakening everywhere, he said quietly. Young people who refuse to accept war as inevitable. Scientists who acknowledge the role of consciousness in physical phenomena. Artists who understand that creativity is a sacred act of cosmic collaboration. The journalist sensed the conversation was drawing to a close. Tesla's energy seemed to be flowing towards some final revelation. The future belongs to people of light, Tesla said. Those who carry knowledge without fear. Those who choose compassion even in darkness. Those who understand that love is not just an emotion, but the fundamental force that holds the universe together. Tesla's voice dropped to barely above a whisper. Humanity is not ready yet, he said, but it is awakening, and that is what matters. The dawn always follows the darkest hour. The light always returns. The interview ended there. Tesla had said everything he needed to say. His words hung in the air like seeds waiting for fertile ground, waiting for minds ready to receive them. For 83 years, this message slept in darkness. Now it speaks again, a voice calling from beyond time, a reminder that we are more than we know, more connected than we imagine, more loved than we dare believe. The man is gone, but his vision remains, burning bright as starlight, eternal as the cosmos itself. What you've just seen is only the beginning. The deeper we go, the more dangerous and extraordinary the discoveries become. Don't stand on the edge while history and truth are being uncovered before your eyes. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell right now so you're here when the next revelation arrives. Because the moment you miss could be the one that changes everything.